This is Amazon Pharmacy, where the pharmacist's hours are all 24 hours.
Hi.
Where you know what you'll pay before you pay it. And Prime members save up to 80%. Where there's no checkout counter, just a checkout button.
Incredible. I'll start. Sorry.
Hello. All right. Hello. This looks great. It looks like excellence. It looks like everything I ever wanted to see in my life is what my grandfather dreamed of. But he would like it better if everybody sat down. It'd look a whole lot better if everybody grabbed their seat. If it's not your birthday today, please sit down. If it's not your birthday today, Junior, sit down. Chris Cox, you can take a seat as well. We're just calling people out right now. Matt McMurray, you're working, but let's get everybody together. All right, I think we're pretty good. So I am not the MC tonight. I would never do that. I don't want that role. But if you're my best friend, you get called on at not necessarily the last minute, but you get called on to sort of help and assist, much like I call on Courtney Lang to just kind of get stuff done, all that. I call on this guy, Joe Briggs. And so my best friend, Joe Briggs, lead us.
All right. Thankful for Brandon Garrett for giving me at least 24 hours before calling this time. As you may recall from last year, he called me in less than 24 hours to be the MC of this event, and we still had a great time. So now we're gonna have an even better time tonight. Hello, everybody. How y'all doing tonight? Now, wait a second. I am the son of a Baptist preacher who became a bishop and ran a church for 30 years. So I'm gonna do that one more time, and hopefully we'll get it right. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. There you go. Let's feel like we are in fellowship tonight. As I prepare the stage for our first person to come up, we will be joined by Bishop Carter, who will give us an invocation. Bishop Carter, if you could join me on the stage to give that invocation so that we can get this party going. I see people looking at those salads on their table. They want to get to them as quickly as possible. Bishop Carter?
If we can quiet our spirits. Oh God, what a blessing. We thank you for the National Minority Equality Forum. We thank you for the leadership of Gary Puckering, his team of leaders and workers. We again are renewed and revived to continue the fight with greater passion and zeal. Bless our gathering this evening. Bless the food and bless the fellowship. We pray. Amen.
Amen. We are going to do our best to keep this program on track tonight and on time. I'm saying that before I start calling people up to give remarks. So I'll say it again. We're going to do our best to keep this on track and on time. First up on the schedule tonight to give remarks are two people who I'm sure you're all interested in hearing from. One, a person that's near and dear to my heart, a person whose birthday party I have the pleasure of DJing every year, which is another job that I have in this town. When I'm not emceeing for my best friend, I DJ for my favorite congressman, Dr. Kelly. We're going to call Dr. Kelly to the stage so that she can give her remarks. She will be followed by Dr. Puckering.
Thank you to my favorite DJ. Good evening, everyone. I hope you all have enjoyed this year's summit. It has been so wonderful engaging with policy and industry leaders from so many parts of the healthcare industry. Throughout the sessions, we have seen common themes like building trust among communities of color, diversifying clinical trials, and decreasing disparities, including something I am deeply passionate about, and you guys know, addressing the crisis of maternal mortality among Black women. We have made so much progress, but there's still so much left to do. I'm honored to recognize some of the people doing this critical work. This year's 40 Under 40 are clinicians, patient advocates, researchers, and policymakers. NMQF chooses these leaders because of their work to build sustainable, healthy communities and make healthcare accessible to all. And I'll give a shout out to my Chief of Staff, Matt McMurray, because he helps choose them too. So thank you, Matt. While I'm doing the work in Congress, they are making a difference on the ground. Their work embodies this year's theme, We Have the Data, Now What? A look back at over 25 years. The National Minority Equality Forum and its partners have been talking about health disparities long before the large institutions and the data caught up. But now that institutions in politics and medicine are paying attention, we have the responsibility to step up as leaders. The people in this room tonight will ensure that equity is at the center of new innovations in patient care. I always say it sounds cliche, but representation really does matter. We need more people of color in the healthcare workforce pipeline, in the rooms where the decisions are made, and in the chambers where laws are passed. Our work now will make sure that we don't need to wait another decade or another century for disparities to be taken seriously. We have the opportunity to push for change right now. Emerging technologies like AI, telehealth, and remote monitoring are changing the healthcare landscape more rapidly than ever. We can build equitable systems from the ground up instead of making corrections later. I'm doing all I can in Congress to make sure that our healthcare workforce and training reflects the realities of our need, but I can't do it alone. I need all of you to make your voices heard and do your part in your communities, your workplaces, and in the offices of your elected officials. As I said earlier, many of the things we've been able to do in my office is because you guys come and talk to us and give us your opinions and tweak what we might think about doing, tell us yes or no. So we depend very much on you. As the chair of the CBC Health Brain Trust, I've been so thrilled to work with NMQF and leaders like Dr. Puckrin for so many years. I know our work isn't done yet, and I look forward to our future work together. Thank you guys so much for being here. We really appreciate it. Take care.
So I feel like I've been running my mouth for 3 days, and I'm sure you got to be tired of hearing me go on. So I'm going to try to keep this as short as Gary Puckrin can, which may not be short at all, but you'll have to tell me what that is. First of all, I want to thank Congresswoman Kelly for her incredible leadership. I think anybody knows we're in a difficult moment inside the House, and we have to fight and claw for every ground that we can get, and her leadership on this has been absolutely spectacular, and we look to continue to support her. And we encourage all of you here. Matt will probably beat me in my head to say, oh, you should reach out to Matt and see if you can't schedule some time with her staff to share some of your thinking about it. I was sitting last night listening to our town hall, and I walked away with the idea, oh my God, we have to agitate. We have to agitate, we have to agitate, we have to agitate, we have to be relentless, but we have to agitate. We are in that moment now where the objective reality is giving us as clear a signal as it possibly can that we can build a healthcare system for our community. And that is what NMQF is deeply committed to. Now, always the problem when you start to agitate, you got to find out who's behind you, because you may be agitating by yourself, which turns out to be a suicide mission, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to go out there. I'm Don Quixote. I'll go out there on my own, fight the windmills, whatever, right? Because I know it's right. I know it's the right thing to do. And I'm not going to be embarrassed to ask you for your help. In this room are amazing, innovative companies doing spectacular things. I was talking to Laverne from the American Kidney Fund, and she came off the stage and she said, I never heard the word that we can find a treatment for kidney disease that ends it. For the first time, we're talking about eliminating kidney disease. That's where we are when you look at the technology and the capabilities. So I'm going to harangue you. I'm looking forward to 2025. I think that's a different world. If you all get out and do what you're supposed to do, and you know what that is, you got to vote, right? And get your neighbors to vote. You got to get everybody to vote. Don't be shy. Don't even be shy, because the space that they're talking about is not a livable space. Violence, absence of abortion, don't want you to be vaccinated, doesn't want to give you health care, want to round up millions of people and export them. I mean, if you just took the list, I think of it as Pottersville. Who the hell lives in that space? That's dark as hell. I'm sorry, you know me, I try to be on both sides of the aisle. I got a lot of friends on both sides of the aisle, but I tell my friends on that side of the aisle, I can't live there. I can't live there with you. My community can't live there with you. And so you need to get up off the couch, need to get your family, your neighbors, those low propensity voters, whatever, because the future of our country is now on the ballot. So anyway, I'm going to stop here. I told you I talked too doggone long, and I'm sorry about that. But I think this is our moment. This is our moment. We can see the future. We know exactly what it looks like, and we can create that together. And so I'm asking my industry partners to go back to their shareholder value folks and say, hey, we can make a lot of money keeping people alive. We could do that. It's not a contradiction, right? So anyway, I promise to shut up, and I'm going to do that right now. Thank you.
I think they deserve another round of applause. Not only because they are the reason that we're here tonight, but because they've been in the fight for the people that are in this room and the people who are not in this room but would be in this room because of their efforts. Another round of applause is deserved. And I'll stop you before you start just to say that we also have two other members of Congress here with us that I know of, Congresswoman Lee, Congresswoman Sewell. We appreciate you being here. We also, I believe, have Congressman Gabe Omo in the room. How about we give them all a round of applause, because they have been fighting for us for a very long time. And there are a couple other people that I think we need to acknowledge before we move to the next thing on this schedule tonight. The staff at NMQF. Why don't we give them a round of applause for the 3 days that they've given us? Specifically, Ashley Hill, thank you for the coordination of this event. And the last thing before we go to the dinner portion of this program, Ebony, I know you looked at me when Brandon said I was his best friend. I'll acknowledge that you are also the best friend in superior position than me. Next thing on the schedule is dinner. You won't hear from me again until after dinner is served. Thank you very much, and we'll return to the music.
All right now. Sit back now. Relax. Let your mind unwind. Let the cobwebs and fog slip on out of your ears and slide on down your shoulders.
But before we go any further, I want to know how's everybody. We're going.
Yes, sir. Okay, we're getting ready to get back started. So Dr. Puckering, Dr. Harris, Dr. Kelly, if you could join me on stage. So now we're gonna have the most important part of the night, where we acknowledge the 40 members of the 40 under 40 class. First, we're gonna have these great people step to the middle. Usually at graduation, this is when they tell you we're gonna wait until everybody goes before you clap. But I know in our community, we will not follow that instruction, so I won't give it. Please celebrate every win. We celebrate every win, so we're gonna celebrate these wins tonight. First up in our class, in our 2024 class of the 40 under 40 is Dr. Benjamin Aceves. He is in the School of Public Health at San Diego State University. Dr. Benjamin Aceves. Next up, Dr. Chidi Akusobi. Dr. Chidi Akusobi of the Massachusetts General Hospital. Next up, Simar Bajaj, also of the Massachusetts General Hospital. Welcome Dr. Lawrence Brown. Dr. Lawrence Brown of Johns Hopkins University. Next up, Miss Tennille Carter. Tennille Carter joins us from the National Comprehensive Cancer Network. Please welcome Dr. Ariel Dees. Dr. Ariel Dees is from the Medical University of South Carolina. Our next guest, Dr. Ashley Ford. Dr. Ashley Ford joins us from Mount Sinai Health System. Next up, Gilmet Pierre Fuller. Gilmet Pierre Fuller joins us from the UTMD Anderson's Cancer Center. Next to the stage is Commissioner Rochelle Garza. Commissioner Garza is on the United States Commission on Civil Rights. She will be followed by Dr. Henry J. Henderson III. Dr. Henderson is with Foundation Medicine, Inc. Next up, Dominic Hobson. Kamara Jones. Kamara Jones is with the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Next up is Dr. Melissa Jones. Dr. Jones is with the Uniformed Services University. Next up, Dr. Nate Jones. Please welcome Dr. Ariel Jordan. Dr. Ariel Jordan is with the University of Michigan. A round of applause for Dr. Sandy Justy. Dr. Sandy Justy is with the Meharry Medical College. Welcome Mr. William J. Lee. Mr. Lee is with Kershaw, Talley, and Barlow, PC. Please welcome to the stage Dr. Min Wei Sam Lee. Dr. Sam Lee is with the University of Tennessee Health Science Center. He will be followed by Miss Bianca Mays. Ms. Bianca Mays joins us tonight from Planned Parenthood Federation of America. She will be followed by Dr. Adam J. Milam. Dr. Milam comes to us tonight from the Mayo Clinic. Dr. Kimberly Nettles. Dr. Nettles joins us tonight from Johnson & Johnson Innovative Medicine. Thank you for your support. Dr. Robin Ortiz. The NYU Grossman School of Medicine. Dr. David Ramirez. Dr. Ramirez was with the Lurie Children's Hospital of Northwestern University. He'll be followed by Emily Rodriguez. Emily is with the Bridge Directory. Shout out to the Bridge Directory. I like that. Next in your program and in your heart is Dr. Brittany Saufir Calloway. Dr. Calloway is with DC Health. For all those locals here, DC Health. Please welcome Dr. Evan Michael Shannon. Dr. Shannon joins us from the UCLA David Geffen School of Medicine. Dr. Bethany Strong. Dr. Strong comes to us from the University of Maryland School of Medicine. Dr. Subhan Taba. From the Texas Health Presbyterian Hospital of Dallas, Texas. Miss Nadine Tavares. All the way from the Rhode Island Department of Health. Ms. Ijoma Uchi. Ms. Uchi joins us from Birth by Us, University of California, Davis School of Medicine. Dr. Jordy Wells. Dr. Wells is with The Ohio State University College of Medicine. Notice I had to say the Congresswoman Beatty. I didn't hear that noise when I said the University of Michigan earlier, but I won't say that again. Next up, Dr. El Shaddai White. Dr. White joins us from Black and Cancer, Elvar Therapeutics. Dr. Gabriella Zaccarelli. Dr. Zaccarelli joins us from Walgreens tonight. Now, because we celebrate all victories, we had some folks that couldn't join us tonight. I'm going to read off their names. Dr. Aaron Douglas Dotson. You can clap for them even though they're not here. Juan Carlos Gonzalez. Dr. Iroquois Egbenosa. Dr. Alistair Martin. Dr. Randy C. Miles. And now we're back to Dr. Antonio Moya. The last name on our list, Dr. Neelay Shaw. Why don't we give one big round of applause again for the entire class of this year's 40 Under 40. Ms. Kelly, Ms. Kelly, Ms. Kelly. So there are occasions in life when you have to provide people honors and honorifics, but then there are also times for acknowledgments. Next up on our program is an acknowledgement. We will bring Dr. Puckering and Dr. Kelly back to the stage to present an award to a special guest. So Dr. Puckering, Dr. Kelly, please return to the stage so that you can present our next award.
Yeah, so I was telling him a little story about my sort of love for space. It sounds really crazy, but I was in Costco shopping, and there was Isaacson's book on Einstein. It was on Remainder, and a couple bucks. I said, can't hurt to pick up a book on Einstein because I love biographies and didn't know a lot about Einstein. That book opened my worldview. It took me and continues to take me on a continuous journey. And a lot of what I talk to you about healthcare is really coming out of the work of physicists and the quantum mechanic revolution at the end of the century. And so I know you're saying, what the heck is he talking about, right? But I will say it to you this way. Science is king. There is no trap door. There is no exit. There is no vote from the Supreme Court. There is no vote by members of Congress. I'm sorry, I know they're here, but no, you don't get a vote. Billionaires don't get a vote. Poor people don't get a vote. We are the product of our biology. And what we've been learning in the 20th century and now moving on to the 20th century is what I would describe as how to optimize life processes. That's where we're trying to go. We want to control health outcomes. I know you hear me talking about equity all the time, and you think that that's why I'm talking about equity. But equity is just one step in a deeper journey that we are on. And so I'm like a kid in the candy store today because of our next honoree. Because I know from reading the literature of physicists and others that we have to become interstellar. There is no way for humanity to survive generations in the future on this planet. And you can see it. I know lots of people come up with their theories, right? But they're not accurate. And if you follow those folks, there is disaster sitting out there. Because one of the things I've learned about Mother Nature, she actually doesn't care. You can believe whatever you want to believe. She gives you that permission, but she will punish you severely. So, Dr. Bernard Harris has been in space. He has traveled, I believe it's 7.2 million miles into space. One of the first African Americans to take that journey. He went into the frontier, and an amazing story of accomplishments. And I know, I'm looking at our study, we don't know all the backstories, but I bet you there are a lot of backstories in that journey. Right now, he runs a venture fund, and he's making investments in new technologies, some of which I understand came out of his experience with NASA. He also runs a foundation because he's giving back to the community. And we need folks like him who have these deep experiences that will help guide our communities into the future. And so I don't know what else to say except, oh God, thank you. We love what you do. We want more of you. We need you to help us, right? I'm just going to give the juxtaposition for 1 second, right? You're talking about marginalized communities on Earth, and you're talking interstellar, right? So that guy that's in the gutter that you pass by and disparage, his DNA is one of the rarest in the universe. I'm going to say one other thing, then I'm going to stop because you know me, I'll keep going, but I got to say this to you because it's incredibly important. There was a physicist, his name is Fermi. He was at Los Alamos, he was part of the development of the atomic bomb. And in, I believe it was 1951, he turned to his colleagues and he asked the question, where are they? And the question that he was asking is, given all those stars and galaxies and all that stuff that's going out there, how come we have not seen intelligent life? How come we haven't picked up a signal anywhere? And I think where physicists are, and they're still searching, and the James Webb Telescope is trying to help us sort that out. Right now, we're the only intelligent life form in the universe. We're it. And we try to extinguish that every day. Every day. Unforgivable. Because that's not our future. That's not what we're trying to accomplish. And so I'm hitching my star to Dr. Harris because he sees the future. He sees what we're capable of doing. So please welcome Dr. Bernard Harris.
As we were sitting there taking that picture, Gary said that this thing is heavy, so I'm going to pass it on to you right now. I said, we'll hold it together. It is really an honor to be here, and it's an honor to be part. I feel like I'm now part of this organization that by happenstance was started in 1998, the same year that I started the Harris Foundation, with our focus on education, health, and wealth. And I underscore health. I'll come back to that in a second. But I really appreciate the organization for awarding me this Lifetime Achievement Award. You know, when you get a Lifetime Achievement Award, that just means that you're old. And that's why you get that Lifetime Achievement where you've done enough stuff to finally get it. So thank you, Gary. I really appreciate the organization. Let me also give my thanks to Dr. Robin Kelly, Congresswoman. Thank you, and the rest of your colleagues that are here. Thank you for being here to help me accept this award. So I really appreciate it. And I wouldn't be here if I didn't mention this guy's name, and that is Brandon Garrett. Where's Brandon? I know he's running around somewhere. So Brandon and I ran into each other on Martha's Vineyard. Don't hold that against him. And he was telling me about the organization, and I said, well, that sounds like a really interesting organization. And then several months later, he says, you know, we'd like to give you a Lifetime Achievement Award. I think, wait a minute, how did this happen? But anyway, thank you. I really appreciate it. And to my 40s under 40, let's give them a congratulations. I got a chance to speak with him earlier, and I mentioned that, you know, I've done all these things. I said, you know, I'm standing here before you as an astronaut, as a physician, as a venture capitalist, and in some ways a philanthropist. And I didn't do all, you know, it took me way over 40 to do all that sort of thing. And the message there is that you're just beginning your life. You're just beginning this journey. And life is long. There are many things that you have yet to do, many contributions that you are yet to make. And one of the things that we were talking earlier in the leadership is that you give us hope. So when we give you that award, you give us hope for the future. Because you're leaders now, but you're definitely going to be the future leaders that will guide us, especially on the healthcare front. But in general, leadership, this country is in dire need for leadership. And I am really encouraged by listening to all of you and talking with you today. So thank you. Let's give them another hand if we could. I won't be long, but I would be remiss if I did not tell you a little bit of my background, because Gary did say that there is a backstory, and that backstory started when I was 6 years old, when the young lady, my mother, who was struggling in inner city Houston, had a education, you know, she had a degree from Prairie View A&M in education, and she was married to my father, who struggled. He just came out of the military, probably should have stayed in the military, but didn't. And he struggled with alcoholism. And she looked around the environment and realized that this was not an environment to raise her 3 kids in. And so she made this tremendous decision, and that was to get us out of that environment. She ended up getting a job on the Bureau of Indian Affairs as an educator. And she took us away from this constrictive, restrictive environment of inner city Houston to the Navajo Nation, an area of Grand Canyons and petrified forests and painted deserts. And it was out there that I would imagine myself traveling amongst the stars. In fact, as the sun would go down at night, I would look up at the heavens and I would wonder, what were those lights? Were they planets? Were they other suns? Are there other planets like our own here? And that's how my aspiration began. I have to remind you, this is in the early 60s. Soon after the Voting Voting Right Act in 1965, we had something that changed, additional thing, I should say, that changed my life, and that was we landed on the moon in 1969. I was 13 years old. And when I saw Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin land on the moon, I realized that that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to follow in their footsteps. Now, when I looked at NASA, I didn't see anybody who looked like me. I didn't see any other than they considered that first group, we call them Group 1, 7 white guys were considered to be having the right stuff to go into space. And in 1969, for me to look at that little black and white television and be able to see some of the greatest feats that this country was undertaking, and at the same time change the channel and see our people, that particular time, black people, being sprayed with water cannons and treated in such a way. For this little boy, I always think about sometimes what was going on in my head that I could juxtapose that and still come up with this notion that I wanted to be an astronaut. I learned very early, through the support of my family, and particularly my mother, that there was nothing as a human being, not just as a black kid, as a human being that I could not do. And so I set out on the course that you heard a little bit about. I went to medical school and then did my internal medicine training at the Mayo Clinic, and then ended up doing research in aerospace medicine, and eventually in 1990, I always like to say that, 1990, especially for you young people, 1990. Some of you weren't even born yet. I got the call to join the astronaut class, the 13th class. And opposed to that first group where it was just 7 white guys, we had 23 women and diversity. We had international crew members. We had, in my class, was the first female pilot, the first female commander, the first Hispanic woman, the first Asian astronaut. And so things, thank God, have changed. And now if you look in the astronaut corps, we have representation from all over the world, and that's what it's supposed to be. So things have changed, and that allowed me to get to my first mission. And whenever I'm speaking to an audience, the big question that I get is, what was it like? So I'd like to share with you, if I could, what it's like to blast off in space. Now, again, I'm an old guy. I flew the space shuttle. I flew on 2 of those, the Space Shuttle Columbia and then Discovery. You may not know that the shuttle weighs about 5 million pounds. In order to get that 5 million pounds in the air, you have to light 5 engines that produce a thrust of 7.5 million pounds of thrust. And I'm here to tell you that when those engines light, you are leaving this planet in a hurry. When those engines light, we call it first stage. You go from 0 to 2,500 miles an hour in less than 2 minutes, reaching an altitude over 100,000 feet at that point. Now you're above most of the atmosphere. And if I could roll down the window of the space shuttle, which I can't, and stick my hand out, I wouldn't feel anything. So what does that mean? That means we're above the atmosphere, there's no resistance on the vehicle, so we're just going to speed up. And over the next 6.5 minutes, you got the math there? 8.5 minutes to get to orbit. We go from 2,500 miles an hour to 5 to 10 to 15,000, eventually to 17,500 miles per hour. And at 17,500 miles per hour, we go from being pushed back in our seat to 3 times our weight to 0 gravity, just like that. Now, if you would this evening, use your imagination of thinking about if I could turn off gravity in this room, what would happen? All of us would rise up, including the glasses and everything. It'd be a big mess. And it was kind of like that for me for the first time that I experienced microgravity, when I got out of my seat and I started floating. And I was a rookie, and I didn't know what I was doing, and so I didn't know how to navigate microgravity. So I was kicking people, and they didn't want to have anything to do with it. Got away with me away from me as soon as they could. But I got my space legs or body together, and I went straight for the window, and I put my hands on the windowsill to hold myself in place, And I looked down to see the Earth, and guess what? It wasn't there. In space, things change. Everything's relative. So immediately my eyes went from looking down to looking up, and what I saw was this beautiful planet. This beautiful planet called planet Earth, which is mostly blue with these swirls of white clouds. And it was just incredible. It was awe-inspiring. I have a whole nother talk about the spiritual aspect of that whole experience, which we don't have time to talk about tonight. But I spend a lot of time talking to audiences and sharing that experience because that is our future. And as Gary mentioned earlier, that we are stewards of this planet. We haven't done a really good job at that. And because of that, and because of the population increase, we will be living off the planet, on and off the planet. If you watch current events, you know that we've got billionaires that are spending a lot of money going into space, Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, and at least 20 other companies that are involved in replacing the shuttle. And so we'll be flying that. Now, I always tell people, why are these billionaires spending money in space? Is that because they love space, they want to have that experience? Well, they've already done that. They see an opportunity in space, an economic opportunity, an economy that's going to develop in space. And so you'll see, if you pay any attention to this area, it's called the new space economy. And so there's going to be a whole space economy that develops between low Earth orbit and Earth and beyond, the moon and beyond. And when I'm talking to audiences, especially audiences of black and brown folks, I have to remind you that we need to be involved in this. We have an opportunity to be involved at the start of it, which means that we can have a role in this. And if we don't take advantage of this, guess what? We're going to be left here on Earth, literally left here on Earth, as millions and billions of dollars are being made there. Now, I know this is a healthcare organization, and it's important for us to focus on that, but humans living in space, that's a healthcare problem. Did you know we lose 1% of bone per month, 15% of our muscle mass, 50% of our total heart size, extra strength and size? Our blood volume goes down. We're not able to fight off illnesses like we're here on Earth. That is a medical problem that needs a lot of research. And I know we got a bunch of researchers in here. And so there's an opportunity to take what you've learned here on Earth and apply it to space. So that's my commercial. Space is the future. Don't forget about it. Don't relegate yourself to be stuck here on Earth, but you'll be stuck literally. So I want to end with a couple of things which I think is really important and related to the organization. I mentioned that in 1998, I started the Harris Foundation. Our focus was education, health, and wealth. And the health part of this is dealing with the disparities that I see in the communities that I go and visit all across this country. And those disparities affect us, the black and brown folks in this community. And one of the reasons that when I was at NASA and did research in telemedicine, and that is telemedicine is how, well, I don't have to explain telemedicine anymore, do I? COVID changed all of that. I spent almost 20 years trying to convince people of what telemedicine was about. All we had to do was have this disease, and then everybody knows what it is. But it's the ability of taking technology and applying it to the delivery of healthcare. That's exactly what I've been doing for the last 22 years, is investing in those companies. If you think that we can apply this type of technology for astronauts in low Earth orbit and on the moon, why can't we apply that to our communities here on Earth? We can, and we have deployed a number of those. So when you're thinking about the work that you're doing out there, think about how technology can enable you to access more people. And how do you access the minority communities? Do you know that 95% of us, even in our communities, have one of these devices? 10 years ago, It would have been just a flip phone, or it might have been a device that's not communicating, but all of them now communicate. I can't think of a better tool to use to access healthcare, to provide healthcare information there. So that's my charge, bringing technology to the delivery of health. And so in my regards, your mission to address health disparities and bring equality into healthcare is very aligned with mine and with our foundation's mission. And so with that, I am extremely honored to accept this Lifetime Achievement Award. Thank you very much.
He said 5,000, 10,000, 15,000 miles per hour. Man, I think I saw a car driving on New York Avenue about that fast earlier tonight. All right, I think I am the last person in between the end of this program and you going home tonight. But before we do that, we have one, I think, special person who not yet? Okay. Brandon told me not yet. So maybe I was moving 15,000 miles per hour instead of waiting. While we wait, Dr. Pecker.
So one of the things I want to do, certainly before we get out of here, is to thank all of our sponsors. Okay, so I got 1 minute. Get ready. I want to thank Amazon, the Association of American Medical College, the American Kidney Fund, Genentech, Gilead, GlaxoSmithKline, the American Medical Association, Amgen, Astellas, Johnson & Johnson, the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, Eli Lilly, Biogen, Blue Cross Blue Shield Association, Bristol Myers Squibb, Mallinckrodt, Merck, Novo Nordisk, Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids, the California Health Association of the United States, Centene, Pfizer, Pharma, Regeneron, DaVita, Dexcom, Sanofi, Takeda, Vertex, and Chiesi. Thank you so very much. We could not do any of this without your support. So I think I did the 1 minute, right?
I think that was a minute.
That was a minute. Okay, we're good.
All right, now, AV, I think it's on you.
On the day you came to be happy.
Miss Kelly, if you could join us on the stage.
Happy to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Could not have a day that was, he said, aside for his recognition, because it should never be. Just because
I think that means we pulled it off, folks. Please help me welcome these members of Congress to stage, and I'll turn it over to Congressman Hakeem Jeffries.
And we all know everything. Or in peace, I want to sing. Thanks to Martin. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Never been people like me and you. Y'all slide down that way a little bit.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Congressman Stephen Horsford, Chair of the Congressional Black Caucus. We are here to celebrate our dear friend, our colleague, Congresswoman Robin Kelly. She planned this gala on the night of her birthday. But she did not plan to have her colleagues join with all of you to celebrate her. A woman with a big heart, a tremendous spirit in lifting up others. She centers the work on health equity for all people and to make sure that we do our part to make our communities better, healthier, and stronger. And so today we just wanted to come by and celebrate you, sis. Not only is she the chair of the Health Brain Trust, she is the chair of the trust of the Congressional Black Caucus. The person, I'm honored to be here with my colleagues, Congresswoman Shontel Brown from Ohio, Congresswoman Barbara Lee from California, Chester from Delaware, the next United States Senator, the honoree and birthday girl, Representative Robin Kelly, Representative Terry Sewell from Alabama, the immediate past chair, and my colleague and friend, Congresswoman Joyce Beatty from Ohio. You all know him as the Democratic leader. He's our friend and colleague, the next Speaker of the House of Representatives, Hakeem Jeffries.
Good evening, everybody. What an honor and a privilege to be here to celebrate Robin Kelly, an amazing leader, an amazing member of the United States Congress, an amazing friend. And to see so many people here celebrating Robin's 45th birthday is such an incredible thing. Now, you know, Robin represents the great state of Illinois and Chicagoland. But I wanted to give an update. It's the third quarter. Knicks are up by 1 point. Because she's really a member of the New York delegation. But we just love some Robin Kelly. She's a classmate of Stephen's and mine, and Joyce's and Mark Vesey, of course, and the great Donald Payne. We all came in together, and we're just so proud of Robin, her leadership, thankful to all of you for your incredible work as part of the Health Brain Trust of the CBC. When I came here, I said, Robin, this is not just a dinner event, this is an extravaganza. It was really incredible to see all of you. So thankful for your work, so thankful for your support of Robin and her work, so thankful for your support of us in the CBC. Challenging times in America, but as long as we continue to show up and to stand up and to speak up for what is right, with great leaders like Robin Kelly, I'm confident that together the best is yet to come. God bless you and happy birthday.
I just want to thank my colleagues, but more importantly, we're here to celebrate the 40 under 40. So if they can come up and take pictures with all of us, we would love it.
All right. Any of the members of the 40 under 40 still here? I think Congresswoman Kelly wants you to come to the stage. Hey, Brandon. Hey, Brandon. Brandon, can we move the table out so that we have more room? All right, tall people to the back. Y'all know how this goes. Tall people in the back, find your window. Come up to the front. All right. Slide through. Commissioner, no, if we could let people slide through. Can we take this down?
Yep, there we go.
All right, everybody find their window. Find their window. We're gonna do this 2 times. Everybody say cheese. 1, 2, 3, cheese. One more. Official photographer, are you ready? All right, all the amateur photographers got to get out the way. The official photographer said he can't take the picture. I'll try this one more time. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank you. All right, official photographer. 1, 2, 3. Everybody say cheese. Dr. Harris, would you, they asked that you come on stage and join them for the picture, Dr. Harris. This will be the last one, I promise. That was Brandon's request. Something about Kappa Alpha Psi. All right, here we go. Thank you, thank you. Please be careful leaving the stage. Dr. Kelly, if you could stay on the stage, your staffers want to take a picture with you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But everybody else, you can exit. This concludes our program. The party is in the Kingbird area of the hotel. The Kingbird restaurant in the hotel. Everyone else, please exit. This concludes our program for the night. DJ, turn the music up. Thank y'all for coming out.
A 1,000 milligrams.
Check. Thanks. Hi, I'm taking a new over-the-counter medication. Is that safe with my prescription?
I'm checking your file. Yes, perfectly safe.
Great, thanks.
At Amazon Pharmacy, your medication is guided by a licensed pharmacist and delivered straight to your door on your time.